Attention, attention, calling all looters. This is the assignment. Hello, looters. Welcome to the Movie Loot Live. My name is Carlo, and I'll be leading the assignment. The episode where me and a guest will choose the set of categories of what to watch during the current month of April. But it's the middle of April, so again, we're not going to be very restrictive if something spills into May. But that will be our loot. And for that, I'm joined by a Twitter friend and half of the Movie Friends podcast. He says all he wants to do is talk about movies with us. So let's do that with Seth Vargas. How you doing, Seth?
Hey, Carlo, how are you? Very cool to meet face to face and happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you here because we interact a lot on Twitter. So I knew from a couple of months ago, I want to have this guy on the show. So I
Yeah.
definitely was looking forward to it. And like I said, you are the host of the Movie Friends podcast, which you host with your friend Michelle. How did that came to you, the Movie Friends podcast?
Well, my friend Michelle has been podcasting forever, and I've been watching movies forever. And so I had pitched her several ideas over the years for more specific things. And we were together a few years back, and I said, why don't we just do a movie show? Because she while she's been podcasting and she's very involved in like the TV world, she really had not seen a lot of movies up to that point. And so I was like, we'll watch a movie that I recommend. We'll talk about it. That's the whole thing. And so that's how the show started.
Yeah, I said there aren't enough movie podcasts out there already.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
But then it's great to have you. And I haven't listened to the latest episode, but I have listened to a couple of them, and I really enjoy the chemistry and the way that you talk about movies. I haven't listened to the latest episode, so did you already reveal who's the popcorn, who's the soda?
Not yet. Not yet. We're
Not yet.
we're we're
Oh,
waiting. We're waiting. We might wait.
anticipation.
Yeah, next time we do a live show, maybe we'll do that. But
So it's great. What has been maybe so far your favorite episode or the one that you had most fun with?
ooh, that's a good question. I always I always think back to our episode on Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, because it was a movie that Michelle didn't particularly like, but the conversation was so much fun because the world of Mad Max is just so crazy and outlandish. And then I also do a side series for our Patreon with my mom, who is 69 years old, where we do action movies. And so we had her on the main show and we did John Wick. And
Okay.
as you have experienced having guests on your show, sometimes working through people's technical problems can be difficult when you're not in the same room with them. So yeah, the
No,
John Wick episode with my mom was pretty fun.
I wouldn't dare to have my mama on the podcast because of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, but I'm actually now looking forward to it. I'm gonna check that out. John Wick.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
So basically, what we'll be doing today, we're definitely gonna talk more about you and the show when we meet together. We meet again to talk about these films that we're gonna watch.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
but let's jump right into what we're doing. And basically, what we'll be doing today is receiving the assignment of what will be our loot, choosing the categories of what we'll watch. We're like I said, we're almost towards the middle of April, so we're gonna uh, expand the boundaries a bit and
Sure.
let it spill a bit into May because we acknowledge that our schedules are busy. We have work, we have real life stuff. So maybe a bit into May. Um, uh, Seth, you've seen the categories. Once we
Yeah.
finish today, we both will have our assignment, our mission of what to watch during the month. You've seen the categories. There are a lot of fun categories there. Is there any category that makes you afraid? Any category that you say, "Ugh, I really don't want this one." Just to give the people an idea of some of the categories, I'm gonna take a bit. We have. A film from the 1940s, easy. We
Yep.
have a film featuring robots prominently. That's easy too. We have a film from Thailand. There things get a bit sketchy. Um, a film from Portugal. A film featuring an eclipse prominently. Those are kind of the fun categories
Yes.
that we have. Any category that makes you afraid.
Afraid. So I was very much considering Lars von Trier, any film from him. I would be a little, I don't want to say afraid, but I would be a little trepidatious to speak on von Trier because his films are quite intense and divisive. So I saw that one and I kind of got excited, but then I thought maybe not that one.
I've only seen one and I loved it, but it's Melancholia. It's the only one I've seen,
Great,
and
great.
I love that film.
Yeah, that
Um,
might be his most mild film. I will say, like that. Like it sounds crazy,
what
but
does that say about the rest of his films? I
right,
don't know.
Melancholia might be the most accessible of his movies. But it's great. That's like my wife's favorite movie,
Yeah,
like of all time. It's great.
yeah, I love it. But so you're open to a challenge. You're open to whatever comes, and
Sure. Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
okay, okay. Um, okay, so you like I said, you already seen the categories. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen for a moment so everybody can see a bit of what we have. So just give me a second. Let me know if you can see it.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, there we go. That's
There we
our
are.
there we are. That's our movie loot category chooser tool. Um, and you're the guest, so why don't you tell me what's your first category?
All right. So after looking through all of them, the first category that really got me excited and jumped out to me was a film with a budget of less than $500,000. So that was the first one that I picked.
Ding ding. A film with a budget of less. I had that one on my mind, so yeah, definitely one that I'm looking for. I like low budget stuff, so it's gonna be fun too. Do you have anything in mind already? You don't have to tell me what you're gonna watch. That we can save that for. But do you like have some films like in your
Oh,
mind?
I immediately know which one. Yes, absolutely.
Mm,
And I
okay.
know for a fact that the budget is more like $3,000.
Oh, those are fun.
Yes, it's great.
Okay, okay. So for my first one, um, I'm gonna choose one that's a bit of a blind spot for me, and I know that as a film fan or quote unquote cinephile, I should definitely get on with this. So I'm gonna choose a film from Andrei Tarkovsky because
Very cool.
I've only seen Stalker, and I know I need to watch more of him.
Yes, yes. He pound for pound might be the best director of all time. I don't think he has a single bad movie. When I first watched Stalker, it took me over a week. I kept falling asleep like every 20
Uh,
minutes.
that happens.
Yeah.
I'm I've seen Stalker, but I really think I owe it a rewatch.
Mhm.
But I also might want to check out any of the others. I know that most people mention Andrei Rublev, is
It's great.
or Death is from him, right?
Ordet is Dreyer, Carl Theodor
Oh
Dreyer.
yeah, no,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
But he has they're all great. His first film, Ivan's Childhood, awesome. Like
Yeah,
when
that's the
people
other one.
talk about, people who have a great movie right off the bat, it's like, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so definitely it's one that I need to check out. Is there have you seen a lot of his films, or is there any blind spot of him that you can check?
I have seen all of his films except
Oh,
for his short film, which I think is called The Something and the Steamroller. It's about like little kids, I think. It's 40 minutes maybe. But I've
Okay.
seen all of his narrative feature lengths.
No, it's time to tackle that. That's
Yeah.
short. Or maybe give a rewatch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Seth, what's your next category?
All right. So my second category I picked because there's been a film that I've been meaning to watch for a long time. And I was like, hey, I'm going to double up on my time here. So you had in the categories a film that features Lon Chaney.
Yep. There we
And
go.
so that was my second pick.
Oh, great, great. I've only seen two of his films. I've seen the Phantom of the Opera,
Hmm.
which is good, and I've seen The Unknown. Both are really good.
Nice.
Is the one that you're looking for one of those?
It's not actually.
No, okay, okay. So we're looking forward to what it is. Um, so for my next one, I don't know if there's a niche subgenre that I kind of like, and it's movies on a submarine. But I've done it
Yes.
before, and I don't know if I want to expand and broaden my horizons, and go with another one. So let me just check. Uh, you know what? Somebody mentioned a horror film from Thailand yesterday. I think I read it on Twitter, and it looked
Hmm.
interesting. So maybe I may force myself to watch one. So let's go with a film from Thailand.
Very cool.
Thailand is it has kind of a booming horror movie catalog recently, so it might be interesting to check what's in there.
Very cool.
Okay. Do you have any in mind from Thailand, or it's time to dig up Letterbox or anywhere to see what we
Yeah,
can
I'll have to go and I'll have to go and take a look.
Okay. So like I always I tell my guests, we can stay in touch and see any recommendation, anything that I find that I think you might enjoy. Check this out. So we can always stay in touch. I try to whenever I choose these country categories, I try to check out first that there's something that there's not like a country that doesn't have a movie industry and it's
Sure.
only one documentary in the 70s
Right. Right. Right.
that you can find anywhere. So I try to make sure that there's something to watch on at least some way. So let's hope we can find something from Thailand. Okay, so we have our first four categories. We have a film with a budget of less than 500,000. We have a film from Andrei Tarkovsky. We have a film with Lon Chaney, and we have a film from Thailand. We have four fun categories to play with. The fifth one we're gonna get with the randomizer. What we're gonna do with this one is that you're gonna give me a random number, and we're gonna see what the randomizer throws at us. But
Okay.
before we do that, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a moment, and I'm gonna let you talk a bit about what you have in store with the Movie Friends podcast and what you have upcoming on the show, while I tinker with the document for a minute.
Sure, absolutely. So we're just finishing out. We did adventure films for April. So we started with Indiana Jones. We went to Princess, excuse me, we went to Princess Bride. Then we did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which was cool to revisit after.
Auntie.
Yeah. And we just recorded before I got on with you. We just finished our episode on Last of the Mohicans, which was a first time watch for both of us. That was voted on by our patrons. And yeah, so we're just about done with that. We have an Ask Me Anything episode coming up. We've been doing this now for over a year. And so we were like, let's take a moment to take a break from a movie and just talk about other stuff for a bit. And yeah, it's exciting. We're planning a live show for sometime this summer, late summer, early fall. So we're just waiting on some details before we can announce that. But
Okay, okay, that sounds fun. Definitely stuff to check out, and I'm gonna include in the episode description all the links to your podcast, your social media, so people can follow the show and follow yourself, and stay in touch with what you're releasing.
cool, thanks.
Okay, so let me share my screen again.
So any number, like, am I going one through
Uh,
something?
1 through 21.
1 through 21. Okay. Let's go with 18.
18. Ah, that's an easy one. I found that with a title that starts with the letters G or H.
Oh
Okay,
my
so that
goodness.
there should be a lot for that. So yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
not a very challenging category, but yeah, that's what the randomizer threw at us. So we have already our 5 categories of what we're gonna watch in the next weeks. We have a film with a budget of less than 500,000. I'm a native Spanish speaker and I always have trouble with numbers, but a film from Andrei Tarkovsky, a film with Lon Chaney, a film from Thailand, and the last one, a film with a title that starts with the letters G or H. So that's going to be a fairly easy one. So that's our assignment for the month. Are you up for it, Seth?
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it. All right, it's on. What will happen now is that we will have what's left of April and, like I said, May to watch 5 films to fit those criteria. And at the end of the month, me and Seth will meet again to talk about this loot of films. Seth, it was great to have you here. And like I said, we'll meet again in a couple of weeks to talk about this loot.
Awesome. I look forward to coming back a changed person.
And the man of the loot. So
Yes.
thanks to everybody for listening, and stay tuned for our next episodes. We're still catching up a bit, but our most recent episode was our rebirth loot episode, where me and Jason from Beach Movies talk about rebirth films that deal with change, metamorphosis, rebirth. We also released our latest Oscars episode, or Oscars loot episode, where me and Ian from Best Film Ever podcast talk about the current Oscars and a bit about past Oscars. And I'm a little behind releasing a couple of episodes that have already been recorded, but stay tuned and they'll come out when they come out. Real life precedes everything.
That's right.
Other, other than that, follow us on Twitter at the MML2021. I'm on Blue Sky, although I haven't gotten in there in a couple of weeks. But we're at the Movie Loot, and me personally at TFCT on both platforms. Seth, where can people follow you and find the Movie Friends podcast so they can be friends with you?
Sure. So you can follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram. And also, like you mentioned, Threads, Blue Sky, all of those things that popped up that we have accounts on and don't check. Pretty much everywhere we're at Movie Friends Podcast. And you can find me on Twitter at Osethy. So that's OHSETHY.
Oh, sadly. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
thanks. Also, remember to rate, review the Movie Loot wherever you listen. That's one of the best ways to support us, and it's definitely free. And also, rate and review the Movie Friends podcast wherever you listen to it. Okay, so we're ready then to tackle this loot, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks to talk about it. Seth, again, it's been a pleasure, and we'll talk again in a couple of weeks.
All right. Thanks, man. I look forward to it.
Definitely. Have a good night, and let's grab the loot.